Hey everybody, sorry I haven't been able to make a video for the past 3 or 4 weeks, but I'm back now. Hopefully I'll be making videos more regularly now. I'm actually recording this on Monday, because Wednesday I have marching band and will not be getting home until late, and that will probably be happening for the next few months. But, anyway, the topic of today's video is just general stress management. Because I know that I personally am extremely stressed right now. I have a lot going on. School started. I was on a family vacation, and my family doesn't really get along well. Marching band and being section leader, it's a lot of responsibility, and my section is not very cooperative this year. So, basically, I have stressors everywhere. And I'm sure that with school starting, a lot of you are facing similar things with college and money and things like that. So these are just some general stress management tips. First off, try to figure out what it is that's stressing you. Like, you could start working on the smaller things first, or go straight to the larger ones, like the ones that are impacting you most. It's really whichever you think would do the most for you. If it's easier to start with the smaller ones, do that, but the larger ones do still need to be dealt with. Once you've identified the stressor, there's a few things you could do. You could avoid them. Like, if it's, say, you have a really busy schedule because friends keep asking you to do this or do that, or help them do whatever, you need to learn to say no, and that will free up a lot of time for you. Just avoiding people who stress you out, avoiding topics in conversations that stress you out. I'll try to use one scenario throughout, like, the entire thing, throughout the entire video to see if that helps you. But say one of the big stressors is there's somebody in one of your classes who's just really unpleasant towards you. To avoid it, you could either ask the teacher to sit on the opposite side of the room from them. The majority of times teachers will allow it. They are extremely understanding. I know in my school there is a huge policy against harassment right now that was just increased this past year. Like, we had a pretty harsh one to begin with, but now, like, first offense, they can call in the police. So they take it very seriously. So the teacher will have no problem with you wanting to avoid a stressful and not good situation. If that doesn't work, talk to the teacher again and see if something else can be done. Chances are disciplinary actions will be taken on the other person if it continues. If the class itself is what's stressing you out, you can ask if there is another class you can switch into during that time or throughout the day. So that's it for avoiding it. You could change it, change the situation. Just take control over it. Like, again, with, say, somebody in your class, you could just, rather than avoiding it and ignoring it, change it, try talking to the person, see if anything happens from that. Again, talk to the teacher, see about disciplinary actions. By the way, I'm trying to make this pretty quick because I filmed this yesterday, actually, and it ended up being 16 minutes, so change the stressor. You can, that was the last thing I said, I'm sorry, adapt to it. So it's not saying necessarily to change yourself, but change how you perceive it. So you could look at the big picture, think, does this really matter? Is it that big of a deal? Like, if it's just small things, not really. But while it may seem like it, you just need to learn to ignore it, realize that it's not this important, it's not worth worrying about. Focus focus on small positive things in everyday life. Just find random things to be happy about. Like, there's this book, The Book of Awesome, which is pretty much a book of small happy things and why they are awesome. So, you could just, that's pretty much just changing your mood, and it does really help a lot. You could also adjust your standards. Like, I know I myself am a bit of a perfectionist, and I start to go crazy if things aren't just right. So that causes a lot of unnecessary stress. So realize that sometimes things aren't going to be perfect, and you need to just accept it, make it the best it can be. But if it's not perfect, it's no big deal. Nobody's going to care. Then accept things you can't change. So if there's something that you can't change, it's really not worth worrying about. Like, if it's one person who's just being, I don't even know, like, you can't change other people's behavior, that's a big thing. So that's something that you just have to accept. If school is a stressor, you can't really avoid school, like, if just education in general, because if school is the stressor, you can go for homeschooling instead. However, there's also a matter of if that's right for you. Like, if you like school for the friends, but if you don't like it for the education, no matter what, you're going to be somewhat stressed about that. So just accept it, accept that it needs to be done, and all of that stuff. Then various ways to relax. I have actually a list of distractions. Like, I've made 2 distractions videos, I think. I will post the most recent of the 2 from my personal channel into the description box. There's a lot of things on there that help me personally. I'm not sure how well they'd help you, but it's worth looking at because they aren't like the normal distraction things that you would find, like rubber bands or ice cubes. Let's see, what else? Be sure you plan time for relaxing, and be sure you actually want to do it. Like, if you are stressed while trying to relax because, like, say you didn't get a homework assignment done or something, then it's not going to really help. So I have to go. I'll finish this later. Bye. Okay, so yes, change of location, change of clothes. It's now actually Tuesday, and I am now finishing this in my car. More of my mom's car since I don't own a car yet. But, all that I have left is, like, little things that will just generally make you feel better. One of them is drink less caffeine. Like, have less caffeine in general. It generally makes you more stressed and more antsy, I guess you could say. Like, bit of a story here. I had a teacher last year who, at the beginning of the year, she was drinking probably 2 or 3, how much is in this? Looking at my iced tea. 2 or 3, like, 20-ounce bottles of Diet Coke every single day. And she was always on edge. She was just, like, it was really bad for her. She was weaning herself off throughout the year, and was, like, down to a bottle, then down to half a bottle a day, then down to a few sips, and eventually, like, some days she wouldn't have it at all. And her mood, her personality just improved greatly. So, it's not only with stress, it's just all over. Another one is eat healthier. As simple as it sounds, it actually really does impact your mood, how you feel every day. Like, I personally am a vegetarian, and when I stopped eating meat, like, I didn't eat it much to begin with, but when I completely cut it out of my diet, the first week or so, I did feel a little bit more tired because my body wasn't used to having none. But then I began to eat healthier in general, like whole grain things. That's a big one. If you just switch to whole grain, it actually does make you feel a lot better. And it also makes you feel better about yourself, because then you're like, you know, I'm doing this, and it's great because it's healthy. So just things like that, like cut soda out, eat healthier things, try to eat less sugary stuff. Um, I had a few other things. Let me see if I still have the list up. Yes, I do. Um, reduce sugar as well. Get enough sleep. That's probably the most obvious thing, but get enough sleep. Um, avoid alcohol, cigarettes, drugs. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to be an easy way out. So that's pretty much the same thing as self-harm in a way. So try to avoid that. Exercise regularly. Exercise releases endorphins and dopamine, which are pretty much the things that make you feel good. So that reduces stress, that makes you feel better, just things like that. So I suppose I made this video long enough, but hopefully you get something out of it. If not, I just wasted 15 minutes talking, and you wasted 15 minutes watching me. So sorry about that if you did. But keep sending in questions. We have a few that came in. I personally can't respond to any of them. To the one that came in from because of lack of my personal experience, but the others will. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye.